It's hard to say when this all started. I can't really remember a time it wasn't happening. What makes it worse is that I've never had any mental health issues. Nothing diagnosed, nothing treated. I've always been normal, at least by most standards. But then again, what does that even mean anymore? It happens anywhere, anytime, when I least expect it. I could be at a family gathering, laughing with my cousins, hanging out with friends, scrolling through my phone, then I look up, and just like that, everyone around me is dead. Sometimes they're decayed, rotted down to bone and slumped like puppets with their strings cut. Other times they're twisted, deformed in ways that don't make sense. Heads blooming like grotesque flowers, jaws stretched into impossible shapes, eyeless sockets staring, mouths still twitching like they're trying to speak some last unfinished word. The first few times it happened, I screamed, cried, thought I was going insane. Now, I just blink and wait for it. But something changed. The other day in math class, I was zoning out, sketching spirals and jagged shapes in my notebook. It was almost comforting how disconnected I felt. Then I looked up, and Mr. T was staring at me. Only, it wasn't him anymore. His face had opened up, flared outward like a meat flower. Red, wet, glistening. Rows of teeth lined each petal, twitching. I felt my stomach lurch, but I didn't react. I'd seen worse, or at least I thought I had. This time, the vision didn't disappear like it normally did. It hung there, frozen. Like time was stuck, waiting for me to notice something. I leaned in. And that's when I saw the numbers on his arm. 642. Faint, like a birthmark made of smoke. But it was there, clear. I didn't know what it meant. A countdown? Coordinates? Some kind of death date? I brushed it off. Exactly 10 hours and 50 minutes later, the answer came. I was outside walking my dog, earbuds in, music up, when I got the news. Mr. T was dead. Suicide, they said. Breakup. Left a note. Something about guilt, about losing control. I didn't read it, didn't care to. What did it matter? The next day we had one of those mandatory mental health awareness assemblies. Counsellors talking like we were fragile little dolls that needed coddling. I tuned out, watched the exit signs, counted the cracks in the ceiling tiles. None of it mattered. For me, life went on, like it always had. But I started paying attention to the visions. Not just what I saw, but how long I saw it. The longer the image stuck, the more real the outcome. That's what I learned. The longer I stared, the more I was supposed to understand. Most visions faded fast, a blur of decay, a flash of blood. But then came the mirror. It was early morning. I hadn't slept. I was brushing my teeth, mind blank, when something flickered in the mirror. At first I thought it was a trick of the light, but no, it wasn't a reflection. It was a thing, a broken, twisted version of me. Skin torn and sagging, jaw hanging sideways, one eye replaced by a gaping socket, crawling with something alive. I blinked and it was gone. I gripped the sink, gasping. My breath fogged the glass. When I looked up again, only my pale, wide-eyed face stared back. I went downstairs. My family was sitting in the living room. Mum, Dad, my little sister, all piled on the couch. But something was wrong, too still, too quiet. Then I saw it. Their skin, grey, their mouths agape, limbs tangled like they'd collapsed into each other, blood soaked through the cushions leaking onto the floor. A vision, I thought. I blinked, waiting for it to go. It didn't. The scent hit me. Copper, iron, death. I took a step forward. My foot splashed. Not a vision. Then the TV snapped on by itself, news anchor, panic in her voice. Middle school student suspected in connection with teacher's murder. My name was on the screen. I stared, numb. Sirens howled in the distance, closing in fast. I looked down. blood. My hands soaked in it, arms sticky and red. A shotgun rested against the wall, my fingerprints smeared across the barrel. No, 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 no. I backed up, bumped into something, turned, my little sister's face, her eyes locked on mine, glassy, frozen, accusing. I couldn't breathe. The sirens outside grew louder, urgent. Red and blue lights flared through the blinds. I picked up the shotgun. My body moved like it wasn't mine anymore. I placed the cold metal at the base of my skull, closed my eyes. Darkness. But that wasn't the end. I woke up to the sound of beeping. Slow, rhythmic, sterile white light flooded my vision. My head pounded. Hospital. Handcuffed to the bed, a cop standing at the door, blank face, gun holstered. I wasn't dead. I had pulled the trigger, but the gun misfired. Of course it did, because that's the kind of story this is. They said I was in shock. They blamed the trauma, my age, stress, maybe even a psychotic break. They said I was dangerous, a murderer. They didn't believe in visions or numbers or warnings stitched into the arms of corpses. They sent me to a place for evaluation. But even here, in this quiet white room, it doesn't stop. My cellmate has a hole in his chest that I can see through. The orderlies speak with mouths that stretch open too wide. And last night, I saw the number again. Not on their skin, but carved into the wall above my bed. 643. A new number. One higher. So here I am, still seeing the dead, still counting, still waiting. And I think I know what it means now. It's not how many people will die, it's how many I will watch die. Because that's the curse, not killing, not causing, witnessing. Trapped between glimpses of the present and echoes of a future soaked in blood. I don't control it. I can't stop it, but I can feel it growing. Something is coming. Something worse. And the next number will be 644, and then 645, and then